Calypso 500 Adelaide, the opening round of the 2018 Dunlop Super2 series. Hello, I am your commentator Tristen Dhue from TK Commentary here, round 1, race 1 of the Dunlop Super2 series here at the Adelaide Parklands circuit 2018, and we have on pole position today Gary Jacobson after a beautiful lap yesterday afternoon, or this morning rather, to qualify on pole from experienced veteran Paul Dumbrell. Here is the starting grid, and it is Gary Jacobson from Paul Dumbrell, Macaulay Jones, Will Brown, Brodie Kostecki, Kirk Kostecki, Shay Davies, Chris Pither on his return to the series, Thomas Randall new to the series, and Jack Smith. And from 11th position is Adam Margin from Jake Kostecki, Zane Goddard new to the series this year, Bryce Fullwood, Mason Barbera, Nathan Morecambe, Brenton Grove, Tyler Greenbury new to the series, Matt Charter and Dominic Story, then Jordan Boys, Dean Fiore and Alex Rouleau. Fiore and Alex Rouleau both in returning to the series after, with Alex Rouleau a year off in the Supercars series and Dean Fiore about 5 years off. As we can see now, the field grids up on with the Blackwoods Flycam now. The yellow flags on the pit wall, they go back in after both cars have stopped at their respective grid positions, and once all yellow flags are back taken away, then the green flag will be at the back of the grid signalling the start of the race. And after that, the lights go on, they go off, the cars start, hopefully. Car 26, Gary Jacobson. On pole, we have the green flag, and we watch for the lights as the revs rise. The lights go out, and we get going, and it is Paul Dumbrell who has got the jump on Gary Jacobson. Will Brown in third. A terrible start from Macaulay Jones. He's going to be swallowed up by one of the Kosteckis there as they come into turn 1, 2, and 3. Great start. Paul Dumbrell, he's got a huge margin. We have someone sideways there. I think that was Bryce Fullwood. Down into turn 4 now, and Will Brown is going to make a move, not quite, on Gary Jacobson. We have a couple of cars going very wide. That is Jake Kostecki, I think, going extremely wide there. We have both Nissans who started on the second last and last rows of the grid making up places already. Chris Pither tries to make a move up the inside there of, is that Kirk Kostecki, and then just behind him is Nathan Morecambe, I think. Behind him is Thomas Randall, and then I believe it is Adam Margin. Through turn 8 for the first time, lap 1 of 19, a 19-lap race here to open up the Super 2 series as they get very close to the wall. That was Thomas Randall, I think, and under brakes now. Randall dancing on the rear brakes there, trying to make a move up on the Commodore of Chris Pither. And that was very close to turning him around as they come through turn 11 into the purpose-built part of the racetrack. It will be Paul Dumbrell who will lead from Gary Jacobson with quite a lead over him indeed. And down under brakes, a lock-up from Zane Goddard coming out of the final corner and down the main straight to the centre chicane once more. Lap 2 of 19, the first lap of the 2018 season has been finished, I should say. And we do have a fair few battle packs. And sideways there was Zane Goddard again in the fluorescent green trimmed car. As making a bit of a blocking move there was Jack Smith, because very racy behind him is Bryce Fullwood in the Falcon FGX. It is Paul Dumbrell from Gary Jacobson, Will Brown, Kirk Kostecki, Macaulay Jones, Brodie Kostecki, Shay Davies, Chris Pither, Thomas Randall and Adam Margin are your top 10 at this stage. The highest of the Falcons is Shay Davies, and the highest is Gary Jacobson. The highest of the Commodores is Paul Dumbrell because he's leading the race. For the second time through turn 8, you can see there the two Nissans have made up a fair few positions, up into 19th and 20th from 22nd and 23rd on the grid, and Alex Rouleau has overtaken Dean Fiore, which means from 24th to 19th and 22nd to 20th for Dean Fiore, so only up 2 positions as we go on board with car number 16 of Bryce Fullwood, who is just behind the Jack Smith car in P13. Coming out of the final corner now and rocketing down the main straight Here is a replay of the start, and watch Paul Dumbrell just magically beautifully off the line and converts the no wheel spin start into a no wheel spin secondary part of the start. And this is a onboard start of Bryce Fullwood. In, goes up second, third, fourth, and we come down into the first corner. That was a bit of a lock up there by one of the Commodores, as they all try to make places coming through the centre chicane. So here we go, turn 8 for the third time of 19. And coming out of there, it is Paul Dumbrell, maybe about 3 car lengths over Jack LeBrock there. Gary Jacobson, I do apologise. LeBrock was in the Nissan last year. And someone's in the barriers. Thomas Randall, car number 5, has had a massive accident there. Huge shunt into the barriers. That's turn 8, and that is fast, and that has moved the McDonald's sign as well. Massive impact there. And the beneficiary of that is Adam Marjoram up to 9th and Jake Kostecki, bringing all 3 Kosteckis into the top 10. And let's hope... Right, the Vodafone safety car has obviously been called. Nasty accident there. And he seems to be alright, which is always good to see. Now, a performance that we should mention... Kirk Kostecki up into 3rd from 5th, so this could be his first podium, as we will have a look at a replay of this incident. You can see the golden black car just at the top of shot, having smoke signals coming out the back of it. Oh, that was such a big impact. Just behind Shay Davies and Chris Pither. Look at that. Oh, what an impact that was. Hard into the barriers. And that has moved 2 tons of blocks, about 50 centimetres. And look at what it's done. Huge. That'll have to bring the forklift in. Lap 4 of 19 here. It probably won't be 19 laps. Vodafone safety car out. It's Paul Dumbrell from Gary Jacobson, Kirk Kostecki, Will Brown, Macaulay Jones, Brodie Kostecki, Shay Davies, Chris Pither, Adam Marjoram, Jake Kostecki, then Jack Smith, Bryce Fullwood, Zane Goddard, Tyler Greenbury, and Nathan Morecambe. Welcome back all, and this lap the safety car lights will be out. It is Paul Dumbrell leading Gary Jacobson and Kirk Kostecki from Will Brown, Macaulay Jones, Brodie Kostecki, Shay Davies, Chris Pither, Adam Marjoram, Jake Kostecki, Jack Smith, Bryce Fullwood, Zane Goddard, Tyler Greenbury, Nathan Morecambe, Mason Barbera, Alex Rulo, Dean Fiore, Matt Charter, and Jordan Boyce, as the safety car has now accelerated into pit lane on lap 7 of maybe 19, but probably not 19, here at the Calypso 500 Adelaide. We now wait for car number 88 to speed away to signal the green flag. And he does indeed accelerate away down under brakes to turn 14 to start the 8th lap of the race. I won't say 8 out of 19 because be 19. Sideways goes Shay Davies there coming out of the corner. Don't do that on the restart as they come down into turn 1. The first green flag lap after a fair few. They'll all be racing to try and get positions as the field is all bunched up. Gary Jacobson is a little bit closer this time than the real start of the race into turn 4, and sideways also for Will Brown coming out of turn 4, and for Zane Goddard as the Nissans all try to make places. We had another car go sideways. I didn't quite see who it was. Maybe it was Matt Charter or it could have been Dominic Story as they come down into turn 7 and coming out on to this long back straight into the infamous turn 8. Turn 8 has just claimed Thomas Randall, who is A-OK, but the car is certainly not OK whatsoever through turn 8. And right on the back there of Pither is Shay Davies up the ins. No, that was... Yes, indeed, it was an overtaking move. Macaulay Jones on Will Brown. And Brown will hopefully try and retaliate and go up the inside once more here at turn 14. And the field all stream through turn 11 and start lap 9. A defending move. Oh no, that's Jordan Boyce. He was 20th and now he is at the back. Now he's either spun around, lit up the rear tyres, or has been turned around. Here we go on board with Jordan Boyce. His first round here, he replaced Renee Gracie halfway through the season last year. And oh, that was a very hard hit. And I'm not entirely sure who it was. We will get back to you on that one, as it is very close between the top two, and then a bit of a gap between Jacob and Kirk Kostecki. Then Macaulay Jones, Will Brown, Brody Kostecki, Chris Pither, Shay Davies, Adam Mardram, Jake Kostecki, then Smith, Fullwood, Goddard, Morecambe, then Rulo are your top 15, then Tyler Greenbury, Dean Fiore, Matt Charter, Mason Barbera, and then Dominic Story is now in the top 20 as defending moves all around the place. That's Brody Kostecki, who had Shay Davies all over him, and up the inside goes Adam Mardram on Jake Kostecki. And now Bryce Fullwood's all over the back of Kostecki coming through turn 11. Will there be an overtaking move at turn 14? Maybe, maybe not. Very close to the wall goes Alex Rulo there. And as they come out of that tricky section into the hard braking zone of turn 14, we see there that's Chris Pither just ahead of Brody Kostecki, then Shay Davies, Adam Mardram, and Jake Kostecki. That is the battle pack at the moment, and just behind them is Fullwood has done an overtaking move on Smith. All very close here, coming through the centre chicane. And do we see any moves? Under brakes at turn 4, not at this stage. Although looking very racy there, I think that's Dominic Story just behind Matt... No, it would be Mason Barbera just behind Matt Charter. I think Dominic Story may have turned Jordan Boyce in the Eggleston Motorsport car as they come under brakes for turn 6, and then out turn 7, the end of the slow staircase bit, a little bit sideways as we have an overtaking move on here. Not quite, maybe for Jack Smith trying to get Bryce Fullwood again. Can't overtake into turn 8, so let's try again at turn 9, we'll see. And Mardram defends, locks the front brake. Does he make the corner? Indeed he does. And up the inside goes Alex Rulo. There we go, well done. That was Nathan Morecambe, I believe, that he just overtook. And then now the next victim is Zane Goddard in third position. After that will be Smith, then Fullwood, then Mardram to get into the top 10. Through turn 13 and then under brakes for turn 14 on board with Bryce Fullwood. And just behind Adam Mardram out of turn 14 to start the 12th of 19 laps. Now this race probably will go time certain at this stage. Under brakes into the centre chicane for the 11th time. And this is going to be a great battle here. It's still Paul Dumbrell who leads from Jacobson, then Kirk Kostecki, Macaulay Jones and Will Brown. Then Chris Pither, Brody Kostecki, Davies, Jake Kostecki, and then Adam Mardram. And there is Adam Mardram. There's a bit of a gap now. There wasn't a gap earlier, but that was because it was a safety car restart. Coming out of turn 7 and down to the infamous turn 8 once more. And it's a big gap, only a few car lengths, but I think that Fullwood's just a little bit too far back to make a move on Adam Mardram at this stage. But one person who's not too far back is Alex Rulo up the inside of Zane Goddard and Dean Fiore up the inside of Nathan Morecambe. They're great moves by the experienced Nissan drivers, both driving the Altimas this year. And both of them have spent at least 1 year in the Virgin Australia Supercars season. And they all have experience on this circuit. A big lock up there from Adam Mardram. That will have scarred the tyres. 50-cent pieces on his tyres is not what you want. And a bit of contact there, Matt Charter on Nathan Morecambe for 16th and 17th place. 18th place is Mason Barbera. Then after that is Dominic Story than Tyler Greenbury, so Greenbury may have had a little bit of an incident because he was ahead of both of them. And this is an overtaking move, not quite. Yes, it is, up the inside of Zane Goddard, who has lockup. Is Dean Fiore. And there's a post-race investigation for car 10 and 49 at turn 9. That would be the incident involving Jordan Boyce, I would think, as they come out of turn number 7 once more on the 12th of 19 laps. Super 2 series at Adelaide has been a cracker so far. The top Holden is Paul Dumbrell, top Nissan Gary Jacobson, top Ford Shay Davies. Is this an overtaking move for Alex Rouleau? It's a look but not a move, a little bit too far back on Jack Smith there. Just behind him, Dean Fiore's closed the gap right up, and then behind them is Zane Goddard. Turn 12. Then up to turn 13, which you will take flat out. Then down under brakes. They have to settle the car quickly for turn 14. Get out of here. Make sure not to get too much wheel spin as you come down the main straight. Up gears. It is Bryce Fullwood trying his absolute very best to get Adam Marjoram and get into the top 10. Through the centre chicane, once more, a whole line of cars following each other, line astern. Down, and this is an overtaking move. No, a look for Alex Rouleau on Jack Smith, trying to scare him into making a mistake through turn 5 and then up to turn 6 and 7 before the straight to turn 8, then turn 9. Bit of a gap now between Marjoram and Fullwood. Marjoram's car looks very settled through the staircase section, but then Fullwood's car has the advantage through the third sector. So this is the lead battle now between car 26 and car 88, which is Gary Jacobson and Paul Dumbrell, and Jacobson has closed that gap from the restart right up. Very close to the rear end of Paul Dumbrell is Gary Jacobson. He gained 3/10 on lap 11, as you could see just so maybe Paul Dumbrell made a mistake. Probably maybe getting wide at turn 9 or lighting up the rear tyres here and having a big slide, which would have compensated him down this main straight. Lap 14 of 19 now. And Kirk Stecky still holding tight in third position, which would be a great result for him. And fourth position, Macaulay Jones, then Will Brown, then Chris Pither, Brody Stecky, Shay Davies, Jake Stecky, and Adam Marjoram. And this lead battle will be very interesting, but I would like to see that battle for 10th position involving Marjoram, Fullwood, Rouleau, Smith, Fiore, and Goddard. I think Goddard's dropped back a little bit, though, so it would probably just be between Marjoram to Fiore, those 5 cars. Now, here is a replay. What's happened here? That's Charter, and that's a lockup from Mason Barbera.
That was barbaric.
Dear. Now, was there damage to either of those 2 cars? That we will have to wait and find out. But that is a really bad luck for Matt Charter, who was running a relatively clean race. Was just cleaned up by Barbera. And this is that 5-car battle that I was talking about before. And Alex Rouleau is getting himself really racy behind Bryce Fullwood. And just ahead of him, with a little bit of a gap now, was that a move up the rear end with Smith and Fiore? It looks like it's getting really close to a move. Up the inside, there's Mason Barbera in the pits. He obviously has a bit of an incident. And up the inside it was indeed for Dean Fiore. Up the inside, taking the Jack Smith car. Had to think there. It is the last lap of the race, lap 15 of 15. It was going to be lap 15 of 19, but it is only going to be 15 laps due to the safety car period between laps number 4 and lap 7, due to the incident just here at turn 8, which involved having to fix that concrete McDonald's sign. So is this going to be a move on for the lead? Not quite. Car 26. Gary Jacobson not quite close enough. 0.3 of a second is this lead battle. Not even a car length in it. Showing the nose once more through the flat out turn 10 into turn 11. I don't think he can do it. I think Paul Dumbrell will win the first race of the 2018 Super 2 series. But that we will have to wait and see, because he might still do it here at turn 14. Can he? No, I don't think so. He won't make a move, but he is right up the rear end. If Dumbrell makes a mistake here, which he doesn't, it will be Paul Dumbrell who wins race 1, round 1. The first round of the 2018 Super 2 series goes to 34-year-old Paul Dumbrell from Gary J. And then third place, his first podium, Kirk Stecky. Well done. 2 commanding drives there. 3 commanding drives there, I should say, because they all kept calm and composed as we see the rest of the field roll past the start-finish line. And in the end, I don't think Bryce Fullwood got past Adam Margam, which means a career first top 10 for Adam Margam here at the streets of Adelaide. But what a race and what a win for car 88, Paul Dumbrell, who will have car number 1 on him through Sandown, Bathurst and Gold Coast as co-driver for Jamie Whincup in the Virgin Australia Supercars Championship. That was a cracking race, and here are the results. 0.368 of a second between Paul Dumbrell and Gary Jacobson. Kirk Kostecki 2 seconds behind. Macaulay Jones, Will Brown, Chris Pither, Brody Kostecki, Shay Davies, Jake Kostecki, Adam Margam, Alex Dean Fiore, Jack Smith and Nathan Morecambe. The highest Commodore was Dumbrell, highest was Jacobson, and the highest Ford was Shay Davies, down in 8th. The second page, I believe 16th place, was Zane Goddard, and indeed it was, 22 seconds behind. 17th, Dominic Story, then Tyler Greenbury, Matt Charter, and Jordan Boyce was 1 minute and 31 seconds down after that incident. And we will see the highlights now. Jordan Boyce, of course, got spun on the safety car restart lap. Highlights. Great start for Paul Dumbrell. He led every lap of this race, as this was the first lap and they all tried to sort themselves out. This was Kostecki and Macaulay Jones running each other a little bit wide, and then running very wide was Jake Kostecki there. This, a big crash. Bang! Into the wall with tremendous speed. Look at that incident. Thomas Randall, thankfully he was okay. That was a massive impact. And he did, of course, get out of the car, move the wall a good 50 centimetres. Then we had the race restart, and then there was this great overtake for Macaulay Jones, got him up to 4th position, and that would be where he would stay for the rest of the race. Jordan Boyce got spun around by Dominic Story in the Eccleston Motorsport car, with Matt Charter involved in that incident as well. Then there was this great battle here between car 26 and car 28, which is Jacobson and Dumbrell, which went right down to the last corner of the last lap, but it was Dumbrell who prevailed, albeit by 0.3 of a second. Paul Dumbrell was the race winner of this race, and join us for race 2, which will be uploaded in the next week or so. Bye for now.